ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. Our ancestors left Egypt. They received the Torah. They are now at the border of the promised land. So they decide, God instructs them. That isn't very clear really. But it seems that God told Moses, go ahead and send explorers to see if the land of Israel is really the right place for you. Explore it. In other words, before the conquest, make sure you know what you're doing. Well, they sent 12 spies. Those spies were the leaders of the 12 tribes. They were very important people. And they came back with two different reports. 2 of them said, we can do it. 10 of them said, we can't do it. Why not? Well, they brought back fruit, enormous fruit from the land. The land produces fruit. But they said, there are fortified cities. There are giants living there. We will never be able to overcome them. And as a matter of fact, they started crying to Moses, what did you do? Why did you bring us here? We're going to die in the desert because this land is unconquerable. Now, did these 10 explorers that gave a negative report, did they lie? No, they told the truth. They said that there were giants living there. Well, this is what they thought. You know, they were very enormous in stature, very imposing people. There were fortified cities. Well, that's what they really saw. What was wrong then? They told the truth, but they didn't tell the whole truth. When they said we can't do anything about it because we are not sufficiently armed or what, they didn't take into consideration, I think, 2 important things. Number one, the fact that God had taken them out of Egypt. Was God going to abandon them now? If he had performed such miracles for them, splitting the Red Sea, would he leave them now to be defeated, to be destroyed once they get to the promised land? And maybe what is even more important, they did not appreciate the Jewish people. They thought that we are a bunch of slaves that just went out of Egypt. We don't know what to do. They forgot that when people are motivated, when they're inspired, there's nothing that can really stop them. Look at what happened in modern Israel. There were few, and there were tremendous armies against them. Yet, the Jewish people was able to overcome. I think what the explorers failed to see is the willingness, the mission, the mysticism of the Jewish people in finally getting into their land, and they were going to use extraordinary forces. You know, not only it depends on whether you think there is justice to what you're going to do, whether there is a mission on what you're going to do. And I think that was the problem with the explorers. They told the truth, but they didn't tell the whole truth. They estimated wrongly. They thought that the Jewish people was weak, that God was going to abandon them, and that wasn't so. Unfortunately, because of that, the Jewish people had to wander in the desert for 40 years because of this report of these meraglim. As a matter of fact, we observe Tisha B'Av, the destruction of the temple according to our tradition. God said, you're crying now that you can't get into the land of Israel. I will give you reason to cry in the future also, because you did not appreciate the strength of the Jewish people. You did not believe in the mysticism, in the spiritual decisiveness of the Jewish people. So I tell you again, sometimes when we measure things in the world, we measure numerically and forget about the motivation, the spirit of people. I think that when people are motivated correctly, they're able to overcome obstacles that otherwise they couldn't do. So it is not, reality is not only measured by numbers. It is not only measured by height. It is not only measured by the size of your muscles. I think it is measured more by your inner feelings, by your desire to overcome obstacles, by the justice in your cause. If you really believe that your cause is just, you are going to overcome.